Welcome everyone to Advocacy in Action, where we dive into the real-world strategies that power political engagement. I'm your host, Liz Byrd, and today I'm excited to be here with my co-host, Brittney Hanks.
Yes, we're back with another exciting PAC conversation. In this episode, we're going to discuss the effectiveness of digital tools such as social media, email campaigns, and expanding PAC reach and engagement. I'm really excited for this one though, Liz, because digital tools have become such an important part of how PACs stay visible, stay relevant, and meet people where they already are. Employees expect communication to feel modern and easy, and I think these digital platforms give PACs the flexibility to educate, engage, and build trust in a way that really feels natural instead of intrusive.
Absolutely, and I don't even want to delay. I have so many great questions lined up for you, Brittney, so I'm just going to dive into my first question. I want to pick your brain on which digital platforms have proven to be the most effective for PAC outreach and why.
Sure. So, in my experience, I think email is still the most effective digital platform for PAC outreach. It lets you target only your eligible audience, and you can personalize the content and you can track what resonates. Email is a place where people really expect to receive organizational information, so it feels comfortable to them. For organizations that have internal social networks like a workplace or a Yammer, those can be really effective too. They allow employees to allow you to reach your employees in the middle of the workday with that quick, friendly reminder or update. And I think for companies that share government affairs context externally, LinkedIn performs well because employees already use it for professional development. I think it really enforces the idea that civic engagement is part of an informed professional.
I love that. I couldn't agree more, especially on email. I mean, in my experience with communications, email strength lies not just in your ability to target and see all these metrics, but also you can tell a story over email. And I think sometimes people forget that and they think of it more as a social thing. So I like that you pointed out that you can craft that narrative while also tracking all the things and seeing what resonates. I guess since you mentioned some internal and external social media platforms, how can we use social media and use it responsibly to raise awareness and drive contributions?
Yeah, this one's a little complex because I think the most important thing is remembering the compliance boundaries. So, corporate PACs can't use their public social media to solicit contributions. So, responsible use means focusing on the education, the civic engagement, and storytelling. You can highlight how your industry is impacted by policy, share behind the scenes content about your advocacy team, celebrate civic moments like voter registration drives or election participation. When employees see that your organization values civic responsibility, I think they're more likely to explore the PAC on their own through the internal channels. Another responsible approach is encouraging leaders and ambassadors to share why civic engagement matters to them. It really humanizes the issues without crossing the solicitation lines.
I agree. And I almost think thinking of leadership, at least for me, is in marketing and communications, think of them almost like your influencers in your organization. You can kind of treat them like that to help you build those connections and understandings. And I mean, everyone likes a behind the scenes look or making things feel more relatable. So that's just always a great tactic. I love that. I guess switching back to email, what roles do you see email campaigns playing in keeping employees engaged with PAC activities just beyond solicitation emails?
So, email campaigns are really the backbone of ongoing PAC education. Instead of treating your email as a once a year ask, I think PACs need to build a rhythm that keeps people informed year round. For example, just short updates about policy initiatives, quick recaps of events, highlight a PAC board member or contributor. Emails help employees understand how their dollars are being used. When people can see that connection between their contribution and the PAC's impact, that's how engagement increases. And consistency really matters. You don't need daily messages, but you need something steady and predictable so that the PAC feels really familiar to your employees or stakeholders.
Agreed. And I think at BIPAC, through surveys we've done, we've consistently found that trust is high between employees and their employers. And I think you really hit the nail on the head with like the rhythm of needing steady communications. Because I mean, if you think about it, a disconnect or a series of disconnected one-off emails even or posts, they're just that, they're still disconnected and it can create variable results which we don't want. And I think it can even run the risk of being repetitive or that you're only popping in to ask for stuff, which definitely isn't a fun feeling when you're on the other side of it. So I completely agree with everything you said. I guess if we're talking about something more tangible, then, do you think you could share an example of a creative digital campaign or strategy that you've used to boost participation?
Yeah, one of my favorite campaigns that we've done recently was a football theme pack solicitation. I loved it partly because I'm a huge big or college football fan, but also because the content really resonated with employees who are not naturally tuned into politics. So that campaign followed a season storyline. The teaser email kicked things off by inviting employees to join the pack huddle and frame the pack as our playbook. The first solicitation focused on the idea that you can't win with one player. It helped employees understand that their individual participation matters. So the follow-up emails use yardage language, fourth quarter urgency, and team effort metaphors. So the closing message, thank contributors for a winning season while reminding everyone that policy work continues year round. I think using football made everything feel really fun, familiar, easy to connect to. It lowered the barrier for people who normally avoid political content and created a sense of team spirit around something that can sometimes feel really intimidating.
Agreed. And I think even like making it that thing that you can connect to, even if you're not super connected to it, me, for example, not that knowledgeable about football, I still clearly understood everything and I thought it was fun and it shifted that narrative like you were talking about. So even for the non-football fans, it still works. But I guess another question I have for you is what tips would you give organizations that want to modernize their pack outreach without overwhelming their audiences?
I'd say first pick one or two digital tools and learn how to use them really well. You don't need every single platform. A strong email cadence paired with maybe one internal communications channel is plenty for most organizations. Second, I would keep the content really short and visual. Employees are far more likely to engage with graphics, short videos, or key takeaways than they are with a long paragraph format. Third, I would repurpose everything. A quote from a PAC board member can become an email, a slide, a quick internal post. Modernizing doesn't mean reinventing the wheel. It just means packaging information in formats that people enjoy. And last, always make the experience simple. Clear calls to action, easy access to pack pages, predictable messaging. Those all help your employees feel more comfortable instead of really overwhelmed by the content.
I love all of these tips. I think they're so great. And I think even with repurposing everything, I love that. And it also makes sure that your messaging is staying consistent too, which kind of just like knocks two birds with one stone because you want to keep everything consistent, but you're also getting to repurpose everything. So I think that's a great tip that everyone should make sure that they're implementing. You're building your trust in communications, it's keeping it authentic with your audience. And I think that's probably our tip that we need to leave it on with today because there's no way we can top that one, Brittany. I guess I just want to thank everyone for tuning in to today's episode of Advocacy in Action. It's always great when Brittany and I get to come together and do one of these. If you liked this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with your networks, check out our other episodes, and you can even consider sponsoring us for more conversations like this one.